My husband has been lying to my face every single Friday for 4 years. When I finally found out the real reason, I was completely speechless. My husband is a standard meat and potatoes guy from the Midwest, the kind of man who genuinely believes that black pepper is an aggressive spice. We have been married for almost 4 years now, and we are polar opposites when it comes to food. I am a Texas girl, born and raised. I love intense heat. I want my food to hurt me a little bit, and somehow, my mild-mannered husband, who sweats when he eats Cool Ranch Doritos, manages to whip up this fiery, authentic masterpiece. Every single Friday night, without fail, he makes me the most incredible, intensely spicy habanero salsa from scratch. It is smoky, rich, and perfectly balanced. When I first tasted it, I was blown away. I always ask him for the recipe, but he just shrugs it off, smiling and says, "Oh, I just tossed some peppers in the blender, babe. No big deal." I never questioned his hidden culinary talent until 3 weeks ago. I was taking out the kitchen trash on a Saturday morning, and I noticed something weird. Hidden deep down under a pile of junk mail were 2 empty boxes of stomach medicine and a completely empty carton of heavy cream. We don't drink heavy cream. We exclusively drink oat milk, and he never mentioned having a stomach bug. I figured maybe his body was just going through something. But then, the very next Saturday, there was another empty pink box and another empty carton of cream. The week after that, same exact thing. I started getting really suspicious. I casually brought it up on a Tuesday evening. I said, "Hey babe, is your stomach feeling okay? I saw the medicine in the trash." He completely froze. His eyes darted to the floor. His posture got incredibly stiff, and he mumbled, "Yeah, just ate something weird at the office lunch. It's fine." It was a perfectly normal excuse, but his voice went up a full octave. He was definitely lying to me. So last Friday, I decided to play detective. I told him I had a late meeting, but I actually left work an hour early. I parked down the street, sneaked quietly through our backyard, and crept right up to the kitchen window. What I saw inside honestly looked like a hazardous material situation. My husband was standing at the kitchen island, wearing my yellow dishwashing gloves and a pair of clear plastic safety goggles from the garage. He had the blender going, full of charred habaneros, jalapenos, and onions. He stopped the machine, grabbed a single tortilla chip, dipped it into the dark red liquid, and took the tiniest microscopic bite. Immediately, his entire face turned the color of a fire engine. He choked, violently slapped his chest, and aggressively chugged from a massive, oversized glass of heavy cream. Tears, actual, literal tears, were streaming down his red cheeks. He leaned heavily over the sink, panting, looking like he had just run a marathon in the desert. Then, he grabbed the salt shaker, added a tiny pinch to the blender, pulsed it again, and dipped another chip. He ate it, closed his eyes in absolute sheer agony, chugged even more cream, and finally, he gave a weak nod. He shot a thumbs up to an empty room, whispering to himself, "Perfect." I slowly opened the back door and walked in. He jumped 3 feet in the air, ripping off the safety goggles like he had been caught committing a crime. "How long have you been standing there?" He panicked, his voice completely hoarse and raspy. I looked at the cream, the charred peppers, and his deeply flushed, sweaty face. "Babe, do you even like spicy food?" He looked at the floor, absolutely defeated. "I think it tastes like actual battery acid," he croaked. "Then why?" I asked, completely stunned. "Why have you been making this every single Friday for 4 years?" He wiped a stray tear off his cheek, avoiding my eyes. "Because when it hits that exact right amount of spicy, you do this little shoulder wiggle at the dinner table. You get so happy. I needed to know the heat level was exactly right, so I could see the wiggle." I just stood there completely frozen in the doorway. This sweet, mild-mannered man had been chemically burning his own mouth, week after week, suffering in absolute secret, just to make sure I had my perfect taco night. I walked over, wrapped my arms around his sweaty neck, and kissed his milky, burning lips. And for the first time in 4 years, I threw the salsa in the trash and we ordered a pizza.